Hey everyone, this is Jeff Risdon with the Detroit Lions podcast and Lions Wire. It's Friday, July 26th. I was out of practice this morning at Allen Park, checking out the first practice where VIPs and friends and family were allowed. And here's what I saw and heard today. Yeah, it was a rough start. Dan Campbell led off his press conference with it. Michael Badgley is out for the season. He tore his hamstring yesterday in a warm-up kick, apparently. We didn't actually see it. The kickers were working off on a side field, but he's out for the year. So right now only, Jake Bates is the only kicker on the team. He did not do any live kicking today, so we didn't really get a reaction or a chance to see how he was handling it. Dan did say that the team is looking to bring in other people. They've already had one kicker in for a workout. We didn't know who that was. It turns out, unofficially anyways, I don't know if this information is out there yet. I just got it myself. It was Andre Schmidt, former Syracuse kicker who had kicked for the St. Louis Battlehawks last year in the UFL. So you'd have a UFL battle if they do, in fact, sign Schmidt. I don't know if they will or not. We'll see. The list of kickers that's out there and available is not great. Dan did talk a lot about let's just say he reiterated why he likes to go for it and why he will never be a proponent of kicking long field goals. He added that in his press conference today. You can check that out if you want to look on their on the Lions' own website. You can watch it because it was pretty clear in his tone of voice that Dan Campbell is not ever going to be a guy who's going to value having a kicker with a massive leg. That's just not what it's about. It's more about accuracy and consistency of accuracy and his ability to trust him. So we'll see how he gets that with Bates or if he needs to bring somebody else in or not. But it sucks for Badgley, who had a great year last year. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but he did not miss a field goal, set the Lions record for the longest successful field goal in postseason history. But, you know, it's a bummer for him, and we'll see what they do for competition, if any. There was no, live kickoffs or anything yesterday. Yesterday, you can check the video for that. They did do a lot of that, a lot of directional kicking, shorter kicking. I did try to ask Dave Phipp if they were still interested in having kicks go into the end zone in time constraint purposes, and he wound up getting distracted by somebody else, so I didn't get an answer. Tried, but they will continue to monitor the kicking battle. I would love to give you an update on the long snapper battle between Hogan Hatton, the undrafted free agent from Idaho, and holdover Scott Daly. Didn't pay any attention to it. Sorry, missed it. I actually got made fun of today at practice by a couple other beat writers because I did, in fact, not know who snapped one of these snaps that was perfect. So, sorry. I'll get better. I do think that that's Daly's job to lose, but I also think that Hatton was better in the spring. And we'll see how that continues. But anyways, let's get to what went on in practice. The VIP seats, that's a double-decker at the end of the end zone area. It's at the south end of the field, so I had to orient myself there. They look great. They were full this morning. Lots of VIPs, lots of friends and family. It was really cool seeing the guys after practice get out in the field with their kids. You know, there were players' kids that were going up to other players asking for autographs. It was pretty sweet. I was watching Taylor Decker's little ones run up Mount Patricia and him at the top cheering him on, and his one daughter, I'm going to guess, is probably 2-ish. But it took her a long time to get up, and she was cheering for her, and some of the other players on the team that were at the bottom were coaxing her to go. It was a great moment. But that's not why you're here to hear about the actual football that went on. We got pit drill today. Surprised me too. And it felt like I was the only person in the media who actually realized that they were doing it. It was going on. So they started, this is more than midway through practice, and we were all condensed over onto the one side of the field. And they started doing a red zone drill, live offense versus defense, down to our left. And I happened to be near the right side of that media throng. I'm like, oh, what's going on over here? Oh, is that pit drill? It was. It was really cool. Just like you see at the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Game. Offensive line versus defensive line, one-on-one pass rush versus pass block. And by and large, the offense really did well. And keep in mind, most of the starters did not take more than one rep, and many did not take any at all. So you're talking about your backup offensive line, primarily going against your backup defensive line. A couple guys really stood out. Colby Sorsdal looked great. He beat Josh Paschal twice. Paschal did not look good. To be kind, that's not a drill where he's going to win, and he didn't. He tried to attack the inside shoulder. Didn't go. I would say Sorsdal won every rep of his that I saw, or at least held his own, which was very good to see. He was playing left tackle in that drill, which is nice to see because I do think that he is poised to be the swing tackle on the offense. So far, so good. Looked very good doing that. I had been desperate for a win for Giovanni Manu because it's been, I don't want to say it's been rough, but it's clear that he's a lot less experienced and technically sound than pretty much anybody that he's going against. So when he got a win today, it made me very happy. Now, unfortunately, it came against James Houston, who did not have a great pass rush plan on it. It looked like he was going in for a bit of a yank move, and Manu's reach kind of stopped him, and Houston just stopped his feet, and Manu threw him. And so it was really cool for Manu, but on the same side, for those of you who are rooting for James Houston, that wasn't good. So that was a fun one. Ike Becker, the new guy, yeah, he had a couple of wins. Really, the only defenders who looked really good in it were Aleem McNeil taking one rep against Brian Hudson. Aleem showed everybody why he's a starter and why Brian Hudson was an undrafted free agent from Louisville. Actually has had a decent couple of days from what I've seen. Again, I don't typically focus on the big guys until the pads fully come on. They were in shells today, which meant a little bit more contact, a little bit more pop, but it's still not full go. Although this drill, you could not tell that they were not in full pads. So intensity was there. Aleem looked great. Nate Lynn, undrafted free agent from William & Mary, had a couple of wins as well. Looked very lithe and attacking the edge. He had a nice little, it wasn't really a ghost leg move, but it was close enough to it that it could be mistaken for that. And I thought that he looked impressive. He's number 57 out there for those of you who are going out to camp tomorrow. Saturday is the first day where fans will be in the stands. It's going to be sweet. It is also the last unpadded practice before they put the pads on. They're off on Sunday, and they're back on Monday. Just one little quick programming note. I will not be at practice on Saturday. I have a pre-existing family deal going on. It's all good, but I just can't be there tomorrow. I'll be back all of next week. On the participation front, JMO and Brian Branch were not there today. They were excused for a personal reason. It turns out they came out after we learned all this that they were excused to go to Kyrie Jackson's funeral. The Vikings rookie cornerback who was killed. He was their Alabama teammate. I still am just, it's horrible what happened there. I know it's the Vikings. I know a lot of y'all don't want to have anything to do with that, but young man with a whole lot of promise passed away, and that's sad. And he was loved by a lot of people. And my heart goes out to everybody in that Alabama family as well as Jackson's family. I know he finished at Oregon, so he might not have realized that he actually was at Alabama. Technically, Terry and Arnold wound up taking his gig after Kyrie transferred. So that's why they were excused. That's certainly a worthy reason to be gone, especially on a non-padded practice day. Christian Mahogany is still out. He's still sick. Jahmyr Gibbs is not doing any team drills yet, and I can't think off the top of my head of anybody else who was. Marcus Davenport did not do team drills. I'm not sure that I saw him today. I got some ambiguous answers when I asked a couple other people, had they seen him and what was he doing? So he might have been there. I just didn't see him. It happens. As I've talked about before, I tend to stand by myself and kind of go where other people aren't during practice, which today made me stand out very much because I was literally the only person on the second field when right after the stretching and warm-ups, the offense went over to the other field. I was the only one who wandered over there. I was in the full sun, so I probably have a little bit of color. But it was neat because I got to see the offensive drills, and it was offense, doing their thing. And they did a shell drill where they're throwing backs, tight ends, receivers, and they had all three quarterbacks throwing passes, and it's a red zone drill, and they're running route combinations. And one ball hit the ground all day in that drill, and there was probably 30 to 40 of them thrown. Goff just missed Sam Laporta a little bit high at the back of the end zone on the crossing route. That was the only one that didn't get caught. That's impressive. From Sudfeld, from Goff, from Hooker, the accuracy was on point. Now, it wasn't a perfect drill, and this was worth the price of admission, which is free, for me to go over there. Because Ben Johnson got really animated at one route where the combination part of it they wanted the tight end and the slot receiver to do a little bit of a twist before they went out, or as they released, and they didn't do it right. It was Tom Kennedy and I believe it was Sean McCune. They didn't get their wires crossed right, and Ben Johnson went off. He blew his whistle, slammed his head down. Get it right. They went back. They did it again. They did it perfect, and then he was super congratulatory, happy. Yes. That's what I wanted to see. I made that part up. But it was clear he was very happy that they got it done. Didn't hear his actual quote on it, but the attention to detail is something that I want to see, and it's something that's very important to Ben Johnson. And he expressed that to the players, and they got it right, and that makes me very happy. It made Ben Johnson very happy too. The only other thing that came out of that drill, at the end of it, they started working on some gadget plays. And they all came out of the same basic set. And I'm not allowed to talk about what it was, but I will just say that when you see a wide receiver come in motion and the tight end go from inline into the slot, something fun's about to happen. They did some wild things. They had one where two players ran wheel routes, not exactly coordinated, but like specifically spaced out in time. The spacing out was just gorgeous. And I'm watching on the sideline, and I was just like, oh my God. And one of the offensive assistants was with the earshot. He turned around and looked at me. He's like, yeah. That was fun. The offense has some fun with that drill. Very good seeing it. Let's go to the offense real quick. With JMO out, not being there today, you saw Doris Fountain, you saw Antoine Green, and even a little bit of Donovan Peoples-Jones move up the depth chart and take first-team reps. I want to see that Caden Davis did too in the red zone drill, but I didn't actually watch that. That's just second-hand information for me. So I saw like the first two reps of that drill, enough that I saw Amon-Ra catch a pass that, he should have gotten 2 catches for it because he bobbled it and then caught it. But then I was over in the pit drill. So I didn't see that part. Don't know how that went. You can find that coverage elsewhere. There's a lot of really good beat reporters on this team who were there watching that one very intently. I liked what I saw in general from Doris Fountain. Again, he's having a very good camp. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits in because he's a guy that's been around a little bit. He still catches the ball cleaner than Antoine Green, and I think his routes are a little more sudden, a little more urgent than Antoine Green. Antoine, like when he gets out in the open field, he's probably faster. He's certainly an impressively big target. Again, I didn't see that part in the red zone there, so I can't speak to that, but he can certainly go up and get the ball. And there was a throw in the team drills where he did have to elevate, and he made a very nice catch on it. So that's a battle. My guy Traquan Smith, I shouldn't say my guy Russ Brown's guy Traquan Smith, didn't really stand out in any way today. And he did not get moved up the depth chart to the first team reps. So at least not that I saw. So just file that away. Couple other things that happened at camp today. I'm trying to keep this one a little bit shorter because that way we can get it up for you quicker and you get to watch it sooner. And just another quick thing on that. Remember, like and subscribe so you know when these are coming out, because they're kind of randomly done in certain times. There are days when I will get back to my front office base here in Canton and record them right away. And there are others like yesterday where it took me a little bit of time before I got that done. So make sure you like and subscribe and you'll get these. Please check out the practice reports that I write up every day at Lions Wire. Those do get written first. They're up for today. There's a lot of good stuff on there. One of the other guys that I wanted to talk about today, local guy, DaRon Gilbert. Undrafted free agent. He's a linebacker, played at Northern Illinois. Before that, he played at, I believe it was Lafayette. From Brother Rice High School. He had a ton of friends and family in the house today, and he did good, and that makes my heart warm when a local guy gets to show out in front of all those people. Look, DaRon Gilbert's not making this football team. He's practiced. He's got a real shot at making the practice squad. Today, man, he played great. Looked really good in the third team linebacker group. It's him and it's him and somebody else. Sorry, it's not Rodrigo. It's not Germ. Oh man, I should probably know that, but I don't have it off the top of my head. My notes are like over there, and I'm not going to get up and get them. But very first rep of the drills, I'm standing in the end zone, so I have the all 22 view, so I can't really see the offense all that well. I'm kind of watching the defense from behind. He's playing right linebacker. They're in a 2 linebacker set. He lets the traffic go in front of him a little bit, reads the hole, meets his on of a night dead on in the hole right at the line of scrimmage. Would have been a big hit. He kind of got in, picked up, and he actually picks on him up a little bit. Great play. He had another play where Sudfeld went on a rollout, bootleg to his left, and he saw it. And as soon as he saw that the ball wasn't in the belly of the running back, dropped back in coverage, took away the route to the tight end who was crossing across. It made Sudfeld kind of throw awkwardly high. Ball almost got picked off by Maurice Norris. It's not Morris. It's Maurice Norris. Eric Schlitt actually asked him that. I'll make sure that it was right, so we didn't call him wrong. But yeah, that was a great play. And it was caused because his coverage, DaRon Gilbert's coverage, like his instincts and his positioning on it, were savvy enough that he made a play for his teammate there. Wasn't a perfect day. He got beat by Sean McCune for a touchdown in the red zone drill. I did see that one. He kind of got, I wouldn't say mossed, but it was a high throw, and I think he jumped a little late. And McCune's a pretty big dude, so it wasn't perfect. But there's another rep where he got a sack, or would have been a sack. Actually, he almost got 2 sacks on the same play. Blitzing out of the slot. He kind of flexed out outside the tight end, and I don't know who it was, didn't see him. He blitzed in, got an instant pressure. The quarterback did escape a little bit. Pascal came from the other side, got another pressure from the other side, and then Gilbert would have cleaned him up coming back as he tried to flee. I got to talk to DaRon a little bit after practice. He was just beaming, man. He was so happy to play in front of. That's what this football's all about, man. It's easy to forget that these guys are people who go home and have families, they have friends, they have dreams, they have worries. But for one day, anyways, man, I was so happy for DaRon Gilbert. I shared that with him after practice, and he was clearly appreciative that I went up and talked to him. I'm going to write something up at Lions Wire about that. It'll probably run on Saturday. But just a really cool moment for a guy that he's doing pretty good. Doing better than I expected him to after having watched him at Northern Illinois. And he was quick to point out that he did only ever play linebacker for 1 year. He played it at 215 pounds. He's now up well over 220 and growing, and it shows. So, I know I'm spending a lot of time here on a guy that's not going to make the 53, but that's kind of what these stories like this, that's one of the things that makes me enjoy training camp so much, is that you get to find these guys like that. Trevor Nowaski was like that for me last year. Loved that dude. Starling Thomas, another guy that like kind of under the radar, came in, made a very good impression. Actually, they're technically both with the Arizona Cardinals right now. So, that's the kind of fun stuff that I want to spotlight every now and then. A couple other quick little things. It wasn't a perfect day for the Stars. It's something that I wrote up in the Lions Wire notes. Penei Sewell got goaded into a false start by Aiden Hutchinson, basically like jumping in front of him. He sort of did a jumping jack, and he's like, "What?" and jumped and got flagged for it. Goff missed a couple throws. Hooker missed a couple throws. Like, they weren't perfect. Wasn't a bad day for either guy by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a reminder again, they're not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to have bad plays, and they have to move on and process it to the next one. And I think that's one of the overriding lessons that I want all Lions fans to remember as you're watching these reports from me and other people and reading what we write, and seeing it for yourselves if you happen to be lucky enough to go out to training camp or watching it in the preseason. Not everybody's going to have a perfect play every time. It's the ability to overcome those that makes a lot of players special. And it's the ability to string together really good plays and minimize the ones where they're not at their best. And I think these Lions do that incredibly well. As good as or better than any team I've ever covered across a lot of training camps and a lot of years covering the NFL. There is an accountability that doesn't need to be stated. And I think that's a very important thing. And that's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes coming in with the culture that they want. Look, they know Jared Goff's not going to complete every single pass in practice. He's going to have a couple of misreads. It's the fact that he does so many good ones so frequently and so regularly that you can live with it. And keep that in mind as we go forward in this whole process. With that, y'all have a great weekend. Please be good to one another out there. There's a lot of crap in the world. Try not to be the crap. Thank you.